It's not safe to say that the worst is over. There's going to continue to be areas where the water is going to rise, perhaps even for a period of several days, because the water flows down from the land into the rivers, and the rivers gradually rise, flow into other rivers. So it's going to take some time for this water to make its way out of the entire basin that it's been falling into. So it'll take some time, and then once the water starts to recede, then damage assessments can take place, and we can start assigning areas that have been hardest hit, areas that have been inundated. But even then, we're going to have to see what kind of damage was done. We know flood damage is in several particular categories, but what kind of contamination might there be in the water that will necessitate some of these areas actually being condemned? So there's a lot that we're going to have to find out.
John, we've learned from recent events, hurricanes in the Gulf Coast region, what happened with Hurricane Harvey and Irma. It does take a long time to recover. So lay out for us what you think. You've seen some of the images. You've seen the statistics for how big the storm was. What kind of a timeline are we thinking about here in terms of what it'll take to get this, I wouldn't say fully recovered, but perhaps on its way to being a better situation?
I think the way to put it is to get it to some new normal, because the old normal is gone. There have been changes in landscape because of all of the water inundation. The new normal is going to be something that's hard to visualize right now, but progress towards that new normal, we're going to have to get the power back on, because when the power comes back on, when it's safe to do so, then people can start to power up some of their appliances and air conditioners and refrigerators. But in the meantime, some of those items are going to have to be taken out of the homes. Rugs, even siding will have to be taken out and trashed. And some of that trash may even be considered toxic waste. So a lot is going to have to be done. And 2 points here. We shouldn't be jumping the gun trying to figure out how much this is going to cost us. We should be going through the steps that we know we have to take to begin the recovery process from a major flood. We've done this before. We know what kinds of things that we're going to encounter. We know when it's best for FEMA to step in under the Stafford Act and provide assistance to the state and to the local jurisdictions. So this is something that we know something about, even though these are neighborhoods that have been flooded, and these are people that live there and stores that have been impacted.
John, we know that only about a third or maybe slightly more of folks in these high flood zone areas actually have flood insurance. Right. How much can FEMA step in if you're a family that doesn't have flood insurance and you've lost everything? And are we financially secure enough, the FEMA program, to be able to cover all of those that need it most?
FEMA can provide some help. It can provide up to $34,000 per household in a program called individual assistance. But sadly, $34,000 is not going to begin to cover the losses that a number of these families, a number of these people have experienced. If they had flood insurance, then they're going to be better off. But even then, they're going to be starting from scratch. They're going to be starting from homes that may have to be raised. Mm-hmm. So they may have to find new home sites. If they are able to have some reimbursement from the FEMA Individual Assistance Program and from flood insurance, then there's a better chance that they're going to be able to climb back on their feet. But it's going to take a long time, even for the people that have insurance, even for the people that understand registering with FEMA and getting into queue for the individual assistance amounts that may be available. It's still going to take time.